Deno petitions the USPTO to cancel Oracle's trademark to JavaScript.
Didn't realize, I guess, that Oracle still has the trademark.
If you want to get into JavaScript, you have to learn it's not actually called JavaScript. Everyone calls it JavaScript, but it's not actually called JavaScript, it's called ECMAScript.
Right. Do they want to keep the trademark because they're afraid somebody might, if they lose it, somebody will make something that they call JavaScript that's not at all JavaScript or compatible?
Airlines have taken in billions in seating fees in the last few years.
I mean, all the seats should have that leg room. Maybe they wouldn't have that many people getting angry on flights and starting fights.
Trains are much more pleasant to ride on than planes. I mean, planes are faster.
Planes are faster, that's true. Let's not put them in vacuums because it doesn't make a lot of sense to vacuum a tube that's miles long. We just, put them on a track and we can call
the funny
them
thing is
trains.
People talk about it'll make the train faster. And it's like, okay, we already have fast trains.
Yes.
That go through regular air. Hello, how the tech are you? My name is HK Perrin. I'm a software engineer. And one thing I really like to do is write JavaScript. And my story this week has to do with JavaScript. Deno petitions the USPTO to cancel Oracle's trademark to JavaScript. You might be surprised to hear that the term JavaScript is trademarked. Originally, it was trademarked by Sun Microsystems in 1997, and the trademark became Oracle's when they bought Sun in 2009. Oracle hasn't really done anything with the trademark. They don't sell anything that uses the trademark, which is part of the requirements for continued ownership of a trademark. And as such, an open letter was circulated in September, led by Ryan Dahl, calling on Oracle to relinquish the trademark. You might remember Ryan Dahl as the creator of both Node.js and Deno, two very popular open source JavaScript runtimes. Now, Denoland, the makers of Deno, have officially petitioned the USPTO to cancel Oracle's trademark of the term JavaScript. This would free other businesses to use the term JavaScript in their own offerings without fear of being sued by Oracle. And it would also allow the official name of the standard to be updated to JavaScript instead of the current official name, ECMAScript. Examples of other terms that were originally trademarked but have since been freed include air fryer, escalator, Taco Tuesday, dry ice, trampoline, zipper, flip phone, and even heroin. All right, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something that should happen. I didn't realize, I guess, that Oracle still has the trademark or exactly how that worked out, because about the time JavaScript was being developed and came out, Sun Microsystems released Java, and JavaScript and Java really don't have anything to do with each other, right? They're very different languages, but somehow the names got attached to each other. And I'm kind of surprised that Sun got a trademark for it, and then that just passed through. But
yeah, so Sun owned both Java and JavaScript, and JavaScript was kind of named that to bank off the popularity of Java, because Java was incredibly popular at the time. Now it's become less so, but it used to be one of, if not the most popular languages in the world. And JavaScript and Java do share a couple things. I believe the date library in JavaScript was designed to be the same as the date library in Java. Basically JavaScript took inspiration from Java, but they're completely different languages with very little in common outside of maybe a few APIs and the name. But if I start a company right now named HK's JavaScript Emporium, Oracle has every right to sue me because I'm using their trademark, JavaScript, even though that is what everyone calls it. No one uses the term ECMAScript. It's not node.es.
Yeah. Well, I can understand ECMA, which was an acronym, right? It's not a particularly catchy name.
ECMA, I believe, is a standards organization.
Okay.
Yeah, standards organization. So, it stands for European Computer Manufacturers Association. No, that's not right. Oh, it acquired the current name from that. Okay. Anyway, so ECMAScript is like the official name of the standard, which is why like when you talk about the newer modules in JavaScript, you call them ES modules because they're like ECMAScript modules, which is just adding more confusion because like if you want to get into JavaScript, you have to learn like, oh, it's not actually called JavaScript. Everyone calls it JavaScript, but it's not actually called JavaScript, called ECMAScript. Right. But the files end in .js because they're JavaScript files. But don't call them JavaScript files, they're ECMAScript files. But you can call them JavaScript files, just not officially. It's like so much confusion just because Oracle won't give up this trademark. And like what I was saying is like the requirement, one of the requirements for owning a trademark is you have to be in the business, be in some business using that trademark. Like you have to be like offering a service called like JavaScript whatever, or you have to have like a product called the JavaScript. But like Oracle doesn't offer any services or products that use the trademark. So Deno Land is arguing that they have abandoned this trademark, and an abandoned trademark, according to USPTO's rules, should be revoked.
That makes sense. I don't know why they would want to keep it anyways, but
probably I would guess because they own Java and they don't want people to like make the association to Java as well. I don't know.
Are they using it? Do they want to keep the trademark because they're afraid somebody might, if they lose it, somebody will make something that they call JavaScript that's not at all JavaScript or compatible with ECMAScript?
I mean, that's kind of the situation we're in right now. Like, if you can call something JavaScript, you just can't do it officially. For example, Internet Explorer back in the day, it had a JavaScript engine, right? But it couldn't call it JavaScript because at the time, Sun Microsystems owned the term JavaScript. So the JavaScript engine in Internet Explorer was called JScript. Like the language that it spoke was called JScript. Same with like Flash files. Back Macromedia Flash had a JavaScript engine, but they didn't call the language JavaScript. They called it ActionScript. And even though like all these things are JavaScript, you write JavaScript to use them. The APIs might be a little different, but like what you're writing is JavaScript. Just like the API in a different version of C, like a different compiler's version of C might be a little different, but you still call it C. So like that, like because JavaScript is owned, like that trademark is owned by Oracle, that's what leads to more confusion. If I was allowed to create a product and call it JavaScript, it would probably lead to less confusion, not more, if that makes sense. All right.
Well, so
I'll move on to my next one. All right. Airlines have taken in billions in seating fees in the last few years. Last year, United alone took in $1.3 billion in seating fees, surpassing checked bag fees for the first time. We learned this from a Senate report, and the report describes seating fees as including fees for seats with extra leg room, seats that are specific locations on the plane, such as towards the front, or window or aisle seats. And Airlines for America, a trade group of several large airlines, criticized the report as a failure to understand the value the airline industry brings to customers. And as a rather tall man, fuck them in particular. So what do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, it sounds about right. I think the last time I had a flight, they kept tacking on different fees for getting different things, related to the seating. And I'm not a tall person, but sitting in the most, least leg room type, seats are horrible for any like long distance flights. I had to do that in the past. So yeah, even just upgrading to just a little extra leg room is a big deal, and they definitely have it costing a lot more. And of course, all of the seats should have that leg room. Maybe they wouldn't have that many people getting angry on flights and starting fights.
I mean, it's understandable why some seats have more legroom. Like the exit row is going to have more legroom. Yeah. But charging extra for those seats, I feel like I think it's bad because it goes against like the principle of like equity. Like each person should be paying the same amount for the same service. So like just because, I guess like if you imagine if a train did that,
Yeah.
people would be upset about that, or a bus did that. Like, people would also be upset about that. Like, if I have specific needs for those kind of seats, like if I'm handicapped or something and you charge me extra for the handicap seat, that seems appalling to me.
Yeah, I guess so. But the airlines they have such thin margins, and they nickel and dime you for everything. Like in a train, I used to take the train from when I was living in Virginia, so near DC, down here to Florida to visit my family, and you could like get a cabin or something like that would cost a lot more, but a regular seat like had plenty of room because it's a big train. They have like plenty of room to put people in. It wasn't a big deal. But planes are always super cramped and annoying, and
Yeah, trains are much more pleasant to ride on than planes. I mean, planes are faster.
Planes are faster. That's true. So, I mean, they're good for, really long distance travel. You're going to get there a lot faster through a plane, but kind of like middle distance travel, we should really have trains for that sort of stuff. Instead, we have cars, which are super dangerous and impractical and cost a lot to support, and at both like individual level and country level. So, but that's what we do.
If only some rich guy would reinvent trains in vacuums again.
Yeah.
Then we could fail at building it for the fourth time.
Let's not put them in vacuums because it doesn't make a lot of sense to vacuum a tube that's miles long. We just, put them on a track, and we can call
the funny
them
thing is
trains.
like people talk about like, oh, it'll make the train faster. And it's like, okay, we already have fast trains.
Yes.
That go through regular air, not a vacuum,
yeah.
not a vacuum tube. And like, they're not dangerous, unlike a vacuum tube. They're not very expensive, unlike a vacuum tube. And they're relatively easy to build, unlike a vacuum tube. So like, maybe let's just build the thing that we already have instead of trying to invent something new while we're like riding around in these trains that go 50 miles an hour. Like, let's just build the trains that already go 250 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah. And we basically got one here in Florida. I guess California's going to get one soon by the same company.
I hope so.
To Vegas. But yeah, you'll have to. It's not going to go to San Diego, but it's not going to be terribly far from you. So you should try it whenever it's built. The one here in Florida is way down south from Miami to Orlando. It's not anywhere I'm probably going to go anytime soon. So
is it really fast though? Like, how fast does that go?
It's not. It's considered a high-speed train, but it is like 200 miles an hour or something like that. It's fast, but not like super fast. Not like the Japanese trains, right?
Yeah, but that's still like considerably faster than like an Amtrak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's faster than Amtrak. It's faster than driving. It's a real high-speed train. Apparently, it's killing a lot of people, and I don't know why. I haven't looked into that, but people on the tracks, right? Not in the in the train.
Well, I guess we're like in America, we're not really used to trains going like super fast.
Yeah, well, there's supposed to be grade separation for high-speed trains, but that's a whole other topic. So, yeah.
I would hope that like, the warnings around the tracks were like much better than like the current warnings around tracks.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the train, the reason they are able to do it here in Florida is they're able to run the train along the interstates. So they're like down the middle of interstates. So why are people getting there? But it may be like some part where it's, switching from one interstate to another where it can't go like right along an interstate or something. Again, I don't have any details on it or anything. So I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but we're talking about planes anyways.
Yeah.
Charging too much for seating.
We're off on a bit of a tangent. Thank you for joining us for How the Tech Are You? We try to do this show every week, and we put it out in multiple segments on YouTube. If you'd like to check out our other shows, you can do that at echoplexmedia.com. And if you'd like to support us, you can do that at patreon.com/echoplex, or you can buy our swag at eplex.store. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And there's going to be another video right on the screen in one of these two locations. I don't remember which one. And you should click on that. Have a great tech and week.